Hi, I'm Alexandra Napoli, and this is Health Coach TV, the show to watch if you want to learn to love yourself as you slide into your skinny jeans. And this is Health Coach Confidential, the show where I'm going to give you the down and dirty on what it's like to be a health coach and expose you to some of the things that my clients are going through right now, obviously keeping everybody confidential. So the thing on my mind this week is alcohol. Alcohol is everywhere. It seems like you can't go to a party or get together with friends or really go anywhere where there isn't the temptation of alcohol around. And for my clients, this is coming up a lot because they are having difficulty keeping their momentum steady. So Monday to Thursday, they're super motivated, they're eating really well, they're exercising, they feel great, and then they have a glass of wine, and then Friday, not so great. Friday night, they pop a bottle. Saturday, not so great. Saturday night, pop another bottle. Sunday, disaster. Then Monday, you're just tired and and then it takes you a couple days to recover, and then by the time you're recovered again, you're drinking again. So if your long-term goals are things like weight loss, treating an autoimmune condition, healing your gut health, this drinking can really set you back on achieving your goals. So personally, I have been thinking about this for a really long time in my own life. If you knew me in college, you'd know that I drank a lot and frequently. And it's really only in the last couple of years that I've really started to become mindful about my drinking. And, the volume and frequency of my drinking has been on a steady decline since I left college. But still, drinking comes up, and it's, an every weekend thing or, a weeknight with friends, whatever. It happens. And I don't know if that's just a New York or a Toronto thing or a North America thing or just the people that I hang out with, but every time you go anywhere, would you like a glass of wine? So for me, it really became about why did I want to not consume as much alcohol? And so when I first started thinking about it, it was because my hangovers were really bad and a lot worse than they were when I was in college. So the downside of the drinking just really wasn't worth it anymore. Also, my life got super busy. I had a million different commitments. So for me to have a full day that was just wasted, where I didn't feel good and I wasn't productive, was not only bad for my health, but also bad for my business. So the frequency definitely came down a lot because of that. But really in the last year or two, since I've been coaching full time, it's become a lot about walking the talk. So as a health coach, I'm offering people health advice and giving them tips on, ways to find health and wellness in their lives. And I like to experiment with all these things before I recommend them to my clients. I wouldn't want to recommend something to you that I've never done or tried, because what if it's a disaster? So thinking about that, if I'm going to be telling my clients you really need to stop drinking, well then I really need to slow down and stop drinking, because it would just be hypocritical of me to say you can't do that, but I'm going to do that, right? So when I started really becoming aware of that I wanted to decrease my consumption and I wanted to become more mindful about my drinking, it really became an exercise of, at first, just cutting back and being mindful, right? So thinking about how many drinks I was having instead of just having all of the drinks. Drinking water in between every drink that I was having. Maybe when I first got to the party, I would not have a drink for the first hour or two, and then have a drink later. So I would naturally be drinking less because I'd have less time to drink. And really just in the last year, I've actually gotten comfortable going to social situations and not drinking at all. So having everybody around me intoxicated and me being totally sober. And so if that sounds scary or anxiety laden, I get where you're coming from, totally do. For me, it was kind of about the whole social aspect of fitting in and wanting to be like everybody else, and the whole like FOMO thing, fear of missing out. Oh, I'm not going to be able to have fun if I'm not drinking. But really, what's come of actually not drinking at parties is I've realized that I can actually have a really good time, believe it or not. I can enjoy the company of the people I'm with. I find that it's really nice to actually remember the party and the conversations and the laughs the next day. That's always a good thing. And I feel better the next day. I feel better that night. I don't know about you, if this has ever happened to you, but in the last year or two of my drinking, it came with a lot of anxiety feelings as well. So the next day, not only was I hungover, but I also had this anxiety in my body. And so not having that feels fantastic. So now really the only little bits of anxiety that I get around drinking actually come before the event, strangely enough. So especially if I know that I'm going to be somewhere where the people are openly judgmental about my decisions not to drink, I do get anxious. And so by that I mean when you go to a party and somebody comes up to you and gives you a hard time about drinking and wants to know what's in your cup and wants to know what you're drinking and accuses you of being pregnant because that's the only reason that you wouldn't be drinking. Well, no, actually, I just feel better when I don't drink. And I'm still having a really good time. I'm still hanging out. I'm still laughing. I'm not sitting in the corner, Eeyore, like, oh, this party sucks. I'm having a good time, and you're having a good time too. So why are you coming down on me for my choices that make me feel good? I'm not coming down on you for your choices that make you feel good. And that's the other thing, right? If you are going to be the sober one at the party, you still need to have a good time. You can't be the sober one at the party and the jerk that tells everybody that they're idiots for getting drunk, because then nobody's going to want to hang out with you. But hopefully your friends will understand, you're making these choices because they make you feel good and they're helping you achieve your long-term goals. And so that's not to say that I don't ever drink. I'm just way more selective about when I drink, and I'm way more conscious about how much I drink. So, if I want to have a delicious glass of wine with dinner, or, my best girlfriends are in town and we're going out partying for the night, I'm gonna indulge a little bit, but I'm gonna try to indulge smartly, right? So for me, right now, that means choosing one alcohol and sticking with it. So only having vodka soda with lime the whole night and not having also a tequila shot and a Jaeger and all of the things, because that makes me feel better. And so the next day, my hangover isn't as bad and I can function like a normal human being, which is always my goal, is to just function like a normal human being. I don't know how good I'm doing right now, talking to myself to the camera. But, just being conscious of what you're drinking and making more mindful decisions about it. So that's how I kind of handle drinking now. But if you're just starting out and it's, something that is causing you anxiety or you're feeling the social pressure, I invite you to start slowly like I did. Like I said, this has been years in the making to get to this point where I am today. So start really slowly by just incorporating a glass of water in between every drink, or like I said earlier, starting later in the evening. So that's all for Health Coach Confidential. I hope this episode has inspired you to maybe hold back on the sauce a little bit and really be able to fully embody who you are. Because I think that alcohol does provide a sheen, and it really enables you to kind of let loose. But without alcohol, I find that I am much more truly representing my authentic self. And that truth that I'm representing is way more important to me than the buzz of getting drunk. All right, as usual, you can find me off of Health Coach TV on my Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook channel. And make sure you subscribe below if you like this series. I can't wait until next time. Until then, I hope today's episode has helped you transform your life from the inside out.